Hello, everybody, and good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. Uh, Whenever you're listening to this is the podcast with Christopher Times, MA. And this podcast is called Love, Body, Mind, Spirit with Agape Marriage and Family Counseling, LLC. And today we're going to talk about a topic that is really, really important. And I hope you all listen carefully, and hopefully you can see the screen well and hear my voice. Well, there's some things there to consider about major depressive disorder. What is it? What in the world is that? You hear a lot of comments, a lot of theories about what is it to be depressed? What is depression? Well, is it more than a feeling? Is it a feeling? Is it a sense of apathy, right? Don't care, don't want to get up, don't want to do anything? Is it lethargy or laziness? What is this? What does it make you feel like, right? So we're going to go into that. We're going to go into what it looks like. How do you, as a person who's struggling with it, and as a family or friend of someone who's struggling with it, um, what does it look like? And lastly, we'll talk about how do you deal with major depression or major depressive disorder. So, first off, major depression is a condition, and it can be either a chemical in your brain that's telling you uh, that you don't want to get up, don't want to move around, have a sense of apathy, which means you don't care about anything. You're not motivated, right, to do anything. You feel like you don't want to get up, you don't want to smile, you don't want to laugh. Your hunger might go away as far as you're wanting to eat. um, your sex drive can be affected negatively or adversely, um, and which means you don't want to have sex anymore, right? Things lose their pleasure, right? Things that you used to enjoy, you don't enjoy them anymore. Those are simple signs of depression. And then you can go into other signs that look like I don't feel like anybody loves me, right? I don't feel like anybody wants me. I don't feel loved. You can have these types of feelings with major depression. And then other iterations look like this. Oh, what does it matter? Things are going to just go bad anyway for me. Nothing ever goes right for me. You can have that sense of loss, of degradation, a sense of a poor self image. You can have all of those types of iterations, right? You could also have other things where, yeah, you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to shower, you don't want to brush your teeth, you don't want to comb your hair, you don't want to put on your makeup, you don't want to do anything, just nothing. Matter of fact, your whole wardrobe, your clothing might look downtrodden, dirty clothes, smells, smells, right? Didn't smell so good. All of that, even physically, you don't look so good. What's happening? Your body is shutting down. The things that make it go, the things that gives your body pleasure, shuts down. And your systems are literally depressed, just like the word says. And so that's not the way you want to be. You can't thrive feeling and being depressed. Alcohol depresses your system also. And so we have to be really careful with that. The other thing is with major depression, you can have an outward iteration like expression of major depression, which might look like anger. I'm just, I'm just angry all the time. I'm pissed off. I want to hurt somebody, or I want to hurt myself, or I want to do both. I want to hurt other people and I want to hurt myself, right? Might want to kill myself after I kill everybody else. And so these are the outward and inward iterations. This is what it looks like. Okay. The other thing is the sense of being disconnected. You're disconnected from society. That means the people at your job you don't relate to, people in your home you don't feel connected to, um, people just walking down the street. You feel alienated, right? Like you don't fit in, you don't belong. See, these are other manifestations of what depression looks like. Um, a sense of loss, a sense of being disconnected, disconnectedness. I don't feel like I belong. Or you be in a room full of people, could be at a party, could be at work, could be in your home with your family, and you just feel like you can't talk to anybody. You feel like you're utterly alone, although you're surrounded by people, right? People who want to talk to you, but your mind tells you otherwise. Your mind tells you that, oh, nobody loves me. That's what your mind tells you. Your mind tells you that nobody cares. Your mind tells you other things too. Yeah, that's what depression looks like. Depression tells you that uh, what's the use of doing X, Y, Z because nobody cares anyway. Or you might even tell yourself that you don't care about something or someone. And the truth is far from that because you do care. Depression also has an element to it that's insidious, and we call that mind reading. Mind reading. And that means you might walk into I don't know, room full of people, and somebody might lean over as you walk in the room and start whispering to someone else, and then they both start laughing. But in your mind, in your depressed mind, you feel like they're talking about you, although they don't know who you are. In your mind, you think, oh, that person's making fun of me. No, they're just laughing because they may have told a joke. But in your mind, it has to be about me. It's me they're laughing at. It's me that they're looking at. It's me that they're scoffing at. It's me. So how do you deal with this? How do you deal with it? Well, the two good ways that I would always suggest that you deal with this type of thing. And the first thing is you can deal with it by positive self-talk, right? You can tell yourself, first you have to recognize you're doing this to yourself. Oh man, I'm really negative today. Well, I how do I know that Sally Sue and Fred are talking about me. I didn't hear them call my name and say anything. I just merely saw them lean over and whisper to each other and start laughing as soon as I entered the room. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. So you challenge the thoughts, you see. You challenge the thoughts with facts, not suppositions, but facts. How do I know my boss has it out for me? How do I know my neighbor hates me? Right? How do I know that my wife is angry with me or my husband's angry with me? Have they told me? And if so, what did they say exactly? Because, see, in a depressed mind, you have things all misconstrued, they're twisted up. Because the depressed mind is always bent towards the negative. Always. We call that a negative mind. A negative mind. And that mind reading goes with it, right? How do I know people are talking about me or saying things behind my back when I definitely didn't hear them, right? Say these things. I don't have any evidence whatsoever other than my own mind telling me that these people don't like me. Well, how do you know the difference, right? And so you challenge that. You challenge the thought, right? How do I know that this person really feels that way about me? And once you go through the scenarios, you'll find that you have no idea, right? You don't know. You can't read their mind. You don't have any extrasensory perception to tell you, oh, this person's really talking bad about you. Or as the kids say, capping. uh, yeah. So you challenge the thoughts. You have to come up with proof, evidence, and you have to be indignant about it. How do I know that this person's thinking this or saying this? What evidence do I have? Right? Cite the evidence. This is how you combat these thoughts. The other thing is you might just totally shut down. You might do what we call going numb, which means you don't feel nothing. You don't have any facial expression. You don't have sex anymore. You're just utterly shut down. When you do that, your system shut down. You literally start to live a depressed life, a defeated life. And one way to combat that is to reconnect. Because you see, being depressed means that you are suffering under a weight. Just think, you're carrying a lot of weight on your shoulders when you're depressed. And in order to free yourself, you're just going to have to get from under the weight. You're going to have to drop it. You're going to have to refuse to carry it any further. You're going to have to shed that weight. And you have to do it. You have to. My mind is telling me this, but how do I know that this is true? You challenge it with cold, hard facts. That's what you have to do. Get from under the weight. Now, the next thing is going to be sounds simple, Simon, but it works. Sit outside on the porch. Go outside for a walk on a sunny day. Do that as often as necessary when you're feeling low. Why? Because being in the sun and being in nature will force you to reconnect with your environment. And it is in that connection that will cause you to start to reintegrate into your society. Now, the other thing, finally, and this isn't an exhaustive um, rendering of the subject, but finally, for today only, You can do something that's metaphysical in a sense, because see, depression is a severing of ties of connection. So go outside, kick your shoes off, take off your socks, and put your feet in the grass. Make sure there are no sticks or rocks or anything sharp in the grass. And then once you've made sure that nothing's there that's going to harm you, and especially if you're diabetic, then be super careful. But run your feet through the grass and allow your feet to feel. Allow your feet to feel the the elements of the grass and the way it touches. Every blade of grass touches your feet. Allow that to happen slowly, very slowly, very intentionally. And just run your feet across the blades of grass gently, easily, simply. And then you can do the same thing with dirt or sand. Sand on the beach. Sand on the beach works very well. Salt water, even better, because you're able to ground. You're able to ground. And when you're able to do that, you can reconnect. You can regain connection, especially connections that you lost, right? Connections that you lost. And that's a big part of being depressed is you tend to be cut off from your emotion and from other people. That's what it does. It's insidious. It's insidious. But you can overcome it. You can defeat it. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes intentionality, but you can do it. Okay? Well, anyway, you have a wonderful day. You can always look me up at Agape Marriage and Family and Counseling, LLC. I'm on Google. Y'all be blessed. Have a wonderful day, and God bless you.